Hi, my name's Ashley.
And I'm Worth, and we're from Calbegonias.com.
Today we're going to talk about starting out smaller bulbs in small pots, and for transplanting.
Right. So what we can do is we can choose a smaller pot to save space, but also what this does is we know by placing a begonia bulb, or what we really should be calling a tuber, into a smaller pot will give us the advantage of coaxing that bulb to warm up a little bit, and we'll get it to grow a little bit faster than if we put it in directly into a great big pot. Certainly you can do that, but we kind of want to take advantage of our time. We're a little bit late in the season at this point. So we're going to put these in. These are, I think, a 4-inch square pot.
Yes.
And you can see they're quite deep, and we have some nice drainage holes on the bottom, which is really important in any pot. And this soil, I think, is a nice loose soil, right, Ashley?
Yes.
So
it's about less than 50% peat.
Less than 50% peat, and then we also have some other components in here, like some bark, and there's some perlite in there. I think there's even maybe a little sand.
Yeah.
And all of these components then create a nice loose mixture so that the water's not settling. Really, if you water in your soil, it really should drain down right away, and
yes.
So that tells you have a good mix. Most of your garden centers that you go to, the soil mixes that you buy from them are going to suffice for begonias. Okay. So we want to plant a begonia really only about 1 inch down. So we just need a little bit of covering, and you can see these are really small bulbs. But the beauty of a begonia is it really doesn't matter the size bulb, from a very large bulb even down to a seed. We're going to get a blooming plant in this first season.
Yes.
So this is going to grow into a nice big healthy plant here in a couple of months. One thing I look for is a little sprout. You can see we're a little bit later in the season here, and you can see that little pink sprout on there. That really lets me know it's alive. Or it could also be kind of this greenish color.
Yes.
Yeah. And these bulbs are are relatively small, and but that way we know they're good and alive. And so we're going to go ahead and pot these up for you. So yeah. So I've left a little bit of room here so we can just basically throw the soil on top. So we can just put those right in there. And
take these.
Do that. Some soil. So we've got some extra soil here to put. And then we don't want to fill it all the way to the top because we want a little bit of space so we can water these in. And you can see that the soil is a little bit moist, which will make it better to water in. If it's really dry, sometimes the water just goes right through the soil and it never actually wets the soil. So make sure it's a little bit pre-moistened. And we don't want to water so much that these are saturated. Later on, when the plants are growing at full force, they can take the water up and they can withstand it. But we just want to give it a little bit of water to give it a nice start. I think I'm watering the table as much as I am the pot, so we can take that end piece off this watering can. But just enough to moisten the surface there. Now ideally, if we had a place that was 60 to 70 degrees is where we would want to put it, and we're getting some sunshine in here, so it's gonna radiate down and warm these pots. If I used the 6-inch pot and then put them in there, it's probably going to take a little bit longer for the sprouting. That's why we want that. Also notice I've used a black pot. That's going to help warm the soil. So when these are probably about a month down the road, we can probably transplant these. I have a few that I started 10 days ago, and they look like this, and you can see the sprouts already coming up. So sometimes it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get much action in a begonia. Not to worry, but 10 days, 14 days, we should begin to see some activity going on if our temperatures are correct.
And it depends on the variety too.
Yeah. So all of our begonias are grown from seed, and so every one has a little bit, just like people.
Different timing.
They have different timing. They have different growth rates. Some are going to get taller than others. They're not all exactly the same. So.